So, but I had a chance to check out an early screening of it, and that is Strays. It's one of those pet movies, you know, those talking dog movies. It feels like there was a time where every year we got a movie like this, whether it was like The Dog's Journey, Marley and Me, A Dog's Purpose, you know, and I'll get more into that the more I talk about this movie. But this is a movie that definitely parodies that. You know, you have the voice acting of Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx as the two main leads here. Isla Fisher plays another dog there, and then there's a lot of other like brilliant actors who lend their voices throughout the movie. And the big thing I tagged my review with on Letterboxd was like, this is no Homeward Bound, because it's not. The best way I would describe this is, and a lot of you people who are fans of watching pet videos on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. You know, you watch those cat videos or those dog videos, and sometimes, and it's a very popular thing where a dog is doing something and then you'll have someone voice over the thoughts of the dog as if pretending this is what the dog's saying or this is what the dog's thinking.
Wait a minute, you know what? We shouldn't wrestle up in here.
Why we can't wrestle in here?
Because we might get in trouble and knock something over.
Oh, that's a good point.
So let's go wrestle on the couch. 1, 2, 3, let's go! Hey, come on!
Add a bunch of cursing and lewd behavior and absurd sexual stuff and everything. You add all that and mix it together, and this is the movie you get. This is Strays. It's a very interesting premise, and yeah, it was funny at times, and then at times it was all right. The gimmick is kind of getting old, but it's interesting because they hit you up with the gimmick early on, and how this is not your typical dog movie, you know, and all that. And then you get a series of absurd stuff that happens, and then it gets to the point where, okay, this is, the charm is wearing off, and then they hit you with something even more absurd again that kind of brings you back into it, right? And then again it drags again, and then again, boom, hits you with another crazy absurd thing that gets you back into it. And that's kind of this movie. It's like a roller coaster ride of absurdity and kind of shock factor, right? Will Ferrell, he still plays his very, what he does what he does well. And he plays kind of like that innocent kid-like personality that will have his fits, like a spoiled brat that doesn't get what he wants, and he starts having his fits. He has that energy, and he brings that to this role. Jamie Foxx, and again, this is stuff that I've said in my Letterboxd review. He has a too cool for school attitude and personality, but he has a heart, and it comes up every now and then, you know, which is cool. They have a great dynamic together. All 4 of the dogs are really, really funny together, and they have great chemistry there. But yeah, I mean, this is, if you are a fan of these dog type movies, and this is going to be a movie that you're going to enjoy. The reason why I say this is a parody of like all those other dog movies that we have or that we've seen before is because they actually make fun and poke at that throughout this movie. They come across this other dog that they call the narrator dog. It's like, oh no, it's one of them, those narration dogs. And it's a dog looking at his owner meeting a girl for the first time. And the dog is narrating exactly what he's saying. It's like, oh, could this finally be the time where so-and-so finds the love of his life and all that? And, you know, I believe it was Will's dog is trying to ask him for directions, and the dog's not even paying attention because he's so busy and focused narrating on the owner's activities and all that, which is really, really damn funny. It was pretty funny how they kind of poke fun at that. And then again, in those moments of absurdity that hits you as the dog is narrating, he says along the lines like, oh, she seems like such a sweet girl. It's unfortunate that she doesn't realize that my owner is a serial killer and he has tons of bodies in the basement. Or I think it was in the fridge or something like that. And I just couldn't stop laughing because, again, it's just so absurd. But, you know, they play on the parody of those type of movies. And the epitome of that is Dennis Quaid himself is in this movie. He parodies a version of himself from, what was that, Dog's Purpose or Dog's Journey or whatever those movies are. I mean, my God, it was so funny. And, you know, he plays like this bird watcher and he's just seeing shit and all that. And he's like, that's some crazy stuff. And I'm Dennis Quaid and I know crazy. It was just so funny how they had this one of like the main faces from these type of movies in the movie that's parroting those type of movies. So yeah, this movie has bits of brilliance in it. You know, it's just the talking dog thing and the cursing dog thing and all that. It does wear off a little bit. And I noticed during the screening, I think it was too much for some people who, I think, to be fair, they had no idea what the movie was that they were getting into. They probably never saw a trailer or whatever the case is, and they just got up and left. And I was like, oh, those poor guys. They probably had no idea what was going to hit them just now. But it was entertaining. You know, it was fun. It had its moments. You know, if you've seen the trailer, you know that the whole thing was that, you know, Will's dog is mistreated by its owner because the owner, the guy who plays MacGruber from SNL, I forget the actor's name. The only reason why he has the dog is because he was in a relationship and the girlfriend got the dog. And when they broke up, he kept the dog as a threat, and then she left anyway, and now he's stuck with his dog, and he's been trying to get rid of this dog ever since. And it was through the friendships that Will Ferrell's dog has with Jamie Foxx, Isla Fisher, and the other dog. It was through that friendship that he realized, oh my God, you know, I've been abused this whole time, and it's not fair. And I'm gonna go back and teach him a lesson. I'm gonna bite his freaking dick off, you know. And they were all in for the ride because they're like, that's some crazy shit, right? And the way it climaxed at the end when they busted in through that door, when they finally get at the owner. It was just very comical. It was just pretty damn funny how, you know, that was what this whole thing was leading up to. And it didn't disappoint. It was outrageous. It was outlandish. It was pretty damn funny. It took a while to get there, though. I will say that. It took a while to get there. But when you got there, it hammered it home big time. And yeah, freaking bit his damn dick off for sure. But yeah, it was funny. Again, I don't think this is the type of movie that you necessarily need to go out in the theaters to go watch. But I guarantee you a lot of fans of dogs, dog lovers, pet lovers, there's a huge market and audience for these type of movies. You know, the reason why I bring up again, Dog's Journey, Dog's Purpose, Marley and Me. Didn't Channing Tatum have a dog movie last year? Or 2 years ago, like with he's like a soldier and this was like a therapy dog or something dog or service dog. You know, it didn't make buku bucks, but it did have an audience for it. That's the audience that's going to go out and support this movie for sure. I can see it. If they're okay with the profanity and the absurdity and all the sexual references and all that, then they're going to be golden. This is going to be a movie that's going to be perfect for them. Otherwise, this is a movie that I could see hit harder when it's streamed at home. When people finally watch it at home and give it a shot at home. This is a great, hey, I got nothing else to do tonight. Let's go watch a movie. Hey, let's watch this crazy movie. And I could see, like, you know, people getting a kick and a thrill out of that. It's not a family movie, so be mindful of that. Again, lots of cursing, lots of profanity, good amount of violence, especially towards the end, and a lot of sex stuff. And then, you know, of course, they have that moment where they all did mushrooms, which was actually pretty damn funny too. And which led to like a really horrific violent moment, you know, where they're all on mushrooms and they're all like living their best dog lives. And they come across this like cave filled with stuffed bunnies, only to later realize when they came to that they were real bunnies, and they just kind of massacred a family of bunnies. And then they attempted to bury them. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. And the whole thing was like, no one's talking about the bunnies. We don't bring up the bunnies at all. I just thought that was really, really funny and pretty damn hilarious. But yeah, it's a fun thing. I don't think it's gonna do that great in theaters, unfortunately. But it was fun. It was a fun time. And you know, I'm glad I got to see it. It got a decent reception from the screening I went to. But yeah, if that is your bag, then why don't you check it out when you want to check it out? If you're tired of watching Barbie and Oppenheimer for the third, fourth, fifth time, try it out. You know, this could be another alternative. Hey everyone, just a quick message here that this episode is brought to you by a new shop that I just launched. That's right, popculture.shop is a new merch shop where you can not only find Low-Key Geek and eventually MovieTime merchandise, but you will find merchandise dedicated to some of the biggest things in pop culture at the moment. Whether it's movies, TV, video games, memes, or anything of the like, you'll find some of the homages to some of the biggest things that are happening currently at the time. You also Also, eventually we'll find some cool retro throwbacks in here and there. The shop just launched, so bear with me. I'm filling in the inventory, but you'll find new stuff dropping every week. But to help celebrate the launch of this brand new merch shop, I'm giving all of you, the listeners, subscribers here at the Lowkey Geek channel, a nice little discount to check it out. So if you use the code LOWKEYGEEK at checkout, you'll get yourself a nice little 15% discount. So definitely check it out. This is another great way to help support the channel and show your love and support for everything that we do here. But it's also a brand new venture of my own, just going out into the retail market. So any support that you could throw our way would be greatly appreciated. So once again, that is Pop Couture, POPCOUTURE.shop, popcouture.shop, a shop for geeks who are chic.
For full audio episodes of the MovieTime podcast, make sure to follow and subscribe to the Lowkey Geek channel on your favorite podcast platform. New episodes are uploaded every week.